Today we've got a really fun guest lined up. A busy weekend on the horizon with the AAW Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament. But welcome onto the show, Davey Vega. Davey, what's going on? Pleasure to speak with you. Thanks for taking the time to chat today.
Hey, Zach. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
The Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament is a big thing for AAW on AAW's calendar every single year. You've wrestled in it a handful of times. Like, I don't know, it's a sad thing, but the tournament kind of memorializes him and gives a chance for a lot of top talent to come together and kind of have this tournament for a weekend. What's kind of the vibe, getting booked for this kind of tournament, knowing kind of what it's there for, but also, what it also defines and means from a wrestling perspective on the show. Because this is, some of the most exciting shows that they'll do, or like, in my opinion, are these tournament nights.
Yeah, I mean, it's great being able to be a part of the Lynam. Is a pretty big deal, I'd say, just because of how great of a guy Jim was, and being one of the entrants is that's a pretty big deal, I'd say. So
yeah.
And then of course, on top of that, like you said, the talent that comes through. I mean, if you just look at the brackets, there's all kinds of crazy winners and losers matches that can come out of that. There's all kinds of first time matchups you're seeing, like you during these tournaments that you don't see that on a lot of shows, and during the tournaments you get to see a lot of first times, maybe some dream matches too. So I think that's a big deal as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so a couple rapid fire here. You work with so many talents. I mean, is there one that sticks out where you're like, man, that was a really great match in my career? Like, you don't have to give like, oh, this is unless you have like, hey, I for sure know what my favorite match in my career is, but I'm assuming you have a lot of them. But who when you step in the ring, obviously you've got the run with Fitchett, but from an opponent standpoint, like, is there anybody that sticks out where you're like, yep, it's these guys that I do my best work with?
Oh, shoot. I know as far as like singles work goes, Gary J is one guy that we usually bring it out of each other. I'd say every match that we have, just about. I just had a really good match with I'd actually like to have another one with JDX from up in Minnesota. He's a phenomenal talent. I think he's great. I'd love to have another one with him. Tag team wise, Lucha Bros were always fun. I mean, they're a big time talent, so they were always fun to to learn from and be in the ring with. And the Bang Bros, we enjoyed working with them when we had our match. We'd like to work with them some more.
Great, cool. And then last question, you mentioned the pandemic. Did you have to work at all in front of like either no fans or a limited amount of fans during that run at all? I know you said that your appearances were kind of few and far between, but were you a pro wrestler out there, like having to navigate that world?
No, because like I said, I think literally I wrestled maybe 3 or 4 times, and once was before the pandemic hit, like before anybody knew what was going on. So it was probably a week before. So that one doesn't technically count. But then like the 2 times we did wrestle, it was like one of those big, it was in the Midwest. Black Label was a part of it. It was like one of those big bunch of shows got together for the weekend,
like the Collective or something.
Yeah, I believe that was it. So so the crowd was there for those. So I think those were the 2 that I did. I think Black Label did a show in the near the end of the summer when Illinois and Indiana, there was less restrictions. So the crowd, we didn't have to navigate as far as like the crowd goes, so we never had to deal with that. It was just more or less, well, I wonder if the show is going to get canceled because the restrictions are going to,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because week to week they were going, oh, do this, do that. So
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I just think about what it must be like to perform in front of no fans, or just that uncertainty for you guys is like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have before. I think the lowest I've wrestled in front of was eight
okay.
fans. So,
So and how does that go? Like, I mean, for you, I mean, is it? I mean, obviously you're not phoning it in, because you have whatever you want. You have bills to pay. You got to collect those checks. Like, you're not phoning it in, but man, I mean, just from a human to human perspective here, it's got to be hard to get up for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard to say, obviously, because you don't know the crowd going into it. Like, and we've had situations where they're like, "Oh yeah, we've had great pre-sale," and it's like they get like 25 people. So it's hard if the money's there. It's less, like, it hurts less, but it's also like you're kind of sitting there, it's like, yeah, I got this money that I didn't have, 8 hours ago or however long my trip was, but also maybe I could have been doing something else.
Right,
so
right.
It's just like you kind of, when you're young and in wrestling, it's kind of the hits that you take. Now it's like I kind of, like I said, I'm a bit older. I have a child now, so I have to kind of pick and choose and kind of make sure it's, the juice is worth the squeeze.
Right, right. What advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers out there?
Ears open, mouth shut, especially with the talent that know what they're doing and saying. Obviously there's the veterans out there that are going to try to swindle you and give you bad information. But listen to the ones that actually know what the fuck they're doing.
There you go. I like it. Sweet and to the point. It's awesome, man. Well, Davey, thanks very much for the time. This weekend, obviously a big weekend for AAW, but so I mean, talk about what you're doing over the weekend, and then also just anything else upcoming that you want to plug, either at social media, other shows, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Lynam this weekend, my first round opponent, Mike Bennett. So that's I'm excited for that. That's a first time matchup for me. Obviously, I'm going all the way through and winning. So put your bets on me. And
I like it.
Yeah. From there, I have in St. Louis, I have the Grandel show on the 22nd. And then we got I don't have a St. Louis Anarchy show until November, but that would be the other one I would have plugged.
All right, there you go. Davey Vega, everybody. Davey, thanks so much for the time. Good luck this weekend, and appreciate the candidness and transparency on your answers. Thanks very much.
Absolutely, anytime. I appreciate it.